Now, obviously, the Letterman had a big play in this coaching surge. I think that was really the awesome part about it. Is I remember talking to Strick and other guys, and I know they had like a huge meeting with Letterman, and we're asking about, because the usual suspects came up, and obviously it was something that we followed very, very closely. The Hugh Freezes, the Napiers, and I think in the beginning, Coach Beamer's name was kind of like, he's like the fourth, fifth guy. I don't know if people were really thinking about that option quite as serious, but it was interesting because you started to hear more and more rumblings. And I was fortunate enough to get a ton of former players on the show and talk to them. And it was one of those things where, people were asking me, Chris, who do you want as the coach? And I'm like, well, bro, I'm talking to Gamecock legends every other day, and they're all vouching for this guy. And you kept hearing more and more about his character and the type of dude he was. And you started looking at his resume, and he had been at Carolina before, and you started to hear more and more. And it's like, I'm really glad, at least for me personally, I know you're the same way. I'm really glad Sal kind of rolled the dice and we're giving a guy who's a Gamecock a chance. When you heard the news, though, because again, it was right after that Kentucky game, last game of the year, and all of a sudden, boom, Shane Beamer reported he's head coach.
Yep.
How excited, and I think how much of a relief was it for you that I feel like our guy, your guy, but our guy's getting the shot. We're not going the traditional, we're going to go Hugh Freeze, the guy everybody expects us to hire. We're going outside the box and hiring, not the guy everybody else thinks we should get, but our guy. We're going to go get our guy.
Oh, for sure. And I think even, especially from people that played for him, knowing the type of person is, the type of coach. And the thing is to me, even the coaches that coached me, especially the ones I had great relationship for and great respect for, guess what I wanted to do? I wanted to make sure I made him proud.
Yeah.
And played well for him. And he just always exuded that, always had great energy. He was even the outside linebackers coach, even under Ellis.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. I mean, the man's played on each side of the football. And I think a lot of people have to get this perspective. I hate giving them credit. But it's hard not to look at what Clemson has done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That model. Yeah.
Dabo was not a coordinator. Okay. He obviously impressed somebody by his philosophy, his values, his thoughts, what he envisioned Clemson to be. And it ended up being a business thing. That guess what? He was paid $1.5 million.
Yeah.
His coordinators were paid 1.2. That was the risk. Yeah. Okay. Who got the better end of that? Right. Honestly, who's gotten the better end of that, of how much publicity Clemson's gotten to that? How much exposure, how many national championships? I mean, again, when you mention the top college programs in college football right now, it makes me vomit. Yeah. Clemson is one of them, and that's where I think with Coach Beamer coming in, knowing his track record as a recruit, knowing the type of person he is as a coach, seeing how people respond to his coaching, you can only be encouraged that this is the direction that it needs to turn. Because as we said, there's talent over there, man.
I know there's talent in that building.
There's
no question.
Talent over there, and it's guys that
if you believe in recruiting, and we all do,
you gotta.
That says there's talent,
and that's what we said even earlier. That's what's crazy to me is you seeing these guys get drafted 4 straight years. How much talent South Carolina's been putting into
guys
the
winning
draft.
Super Bowls,
and
like
dudes
you said.
going on free agents, starting, and I'm like, where? Like how in the world, and it's. And it, I can't, you don't know unless you're there. You can't really put a finger on it, but there's talent there, and it's guys. I mean, when it comes down to team, man, it's a team. You're in this for each other. I'm sacrificing my body, my skill. I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing it for me, man. At least that's just how I always approach the game. We win together, we lose together, and I think that's where, and obviously you can always point to championship teams, but I can promise you, guess what? Championship teams have a bond stronger than any other team that plays, just because of that shared value, that shared work ethic, the mindset, all that stuff. And I think that's what Coach Beamer is going to bring. And it's a refreshing to hear the rhetoric coming out of the place and seeing the videos, even from all the different coaches, because they got great coaches, man. They got a lot of really good coaches. And to me, I think that's even what's exciting. And again, I didn't go to the spring game, but hearing it was a limited play amount, but man, that's a card you hold in your pocket. Because guess what? I don't want to put that much stuff out there. I want to keep as much hidden as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I think it's exciting. I think it's something to get behind. And I mean, to me, fan, alumni, all that stuff, I think it's our job to go to support those boys, man. If we want to be the change, let's be there every Saturday to help cheer that change along, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking even outside of the blueprint you were talking about, because I do agree with you. You know what? Unfortunately, it makes us vomit. But what Dabo's done at Clemson, and just like that style, and that's just the way coaching's kind of going these days. Man. Yeah, right. He's a manager. He's the CEO of the operation. He lets his coaches do their thing, whatever. Right. But I think the other thing too, speaking just specifically for Carolina, because I talked with like a lot of national guys when this was going on, as soon as Beamer got hired, and you know, they didn't really understand. I was like, you know, for some other schools, culture may not be the number one priority. It might not. That might not be the most important thing. But I think for a school, you know, as unique as South Carolina and, you know, the challenge that it presents, you need somebody in there who wants to come in and embrace the challenge. He understands what it can be. And when you look at a guy like Shane Beamer, who, again, he's literally seen Carolina at its peak. I mean, hey, no knock on him, because, I mean, again, Connor Shaw's my guy, like whatever. Those 11 to 13 teams were great, but only one team's ever gotten to Atlanta. It's the one Beamer was a part of. Right, you know what I mean? So he's literally seen it at the pinnacle of the program, you could say. And I think getting somebody that's going to bring that culture, you know, I was, like I said, fortunate to talk to guys like Swearinger and DeMarco and Garcia, and they all just, I mean, every conversation, strictly, they were culture, every combo you have, but it's just like, people keep saying that because it's just so important. It's like Torrey Gurley told me, he said it perfectly. Takes a Gamecock to know a Gamecock. Yeah, it's just it's a different type of job. You can't approach it with a Hugh Freeze or a Napier or some cookie cutter approach. It's a different type of animal, and you got to treat it as such, I think.
And I think that's where, you know, and I know it because I know Coach Beamer got the question because it always referenced back obviously to his dad. You know, and his dad didn't have a winning season in 6 years at Virginia Tech before he turned it around. You know, and now that model right there is going to be long and forgotten because you're probably not going to get all that. And he realizes that, you know, you got to win ball games, or at least you have to show that progress. And I mean, and honestly, I mean, if there's somebody that you could put, you know, a model on and a blueprint too, that you guess what, it's taken them time, but the man's a great coach and they've done great. It's Kentucky and Stoops, man. I mean, no joke. He went from being D coordinator at Florida State, winning the national championship, to being, you know, head coach at Kentucky. And it's taken a while to build, getting the right pieces in there. But that's what you're entrusting with a hire like this. And I think that's what Shane's going to bring to the table, and especially even the talent of coaches that he has around him. And I think he's got coaches around him that are going to be here. And that's the hardest. They want
to be here. That's, you keep hearing that. Guys want to be here. It's like, you know, people say, why is that important? It's like, for here it is. It just is. And this isn't a stepping stone. It's not a bunch of, with all due respect, it's not a bunch of Georgia and Florida alums that are just here for a paycheck. And it's guys that want to be at Carolina.
And it's not an ever-changing coaching staff. You got people that want to build something here. And I mean, I think that's even one of the things that you hear. Again, you have to put a damn earmark by the Clemson coaches, man. It's just, guess what? You mean tell me them dudes don't love being at the same school year in, year out? That's job security for them, man. You know, and not having to worry about where's the next job going to be. Where am I state? Where am I moving my family?
I mean, coaches are human beings, right? It sucks having to move every year. And that's, you know.
And obviously just even from what they've built. And I mean, I think it's great expectations. I think it's great challenges and stuff like that. I think it's just, again, it's going to take time, obviously knowing where there's holes, you know, that have to be filled from so many people going into a transfer portal and all that stuff too. But again, you're only as strong as your weakest link, man. And I think that, to me, I just want to see people compete, man. You're playing big time college football. Okay. You got a scholarship. When it comes to Saturdays, is out there earning it. You know, and there ain't nothing better than hearing that place roaring, man. You know, and it's a fun atmosphere to play in when it's hopping like that too. And I mean, I've been there, believe me, probably nothing still beats, you know, I mean, I was there for the Ole Miss game, the whole sandstorm stuff going crazy. I remember, you know, I was in the box with whole, you know, we beat #1 Alabama, but even when I got done coaching, you know, at USC and was at Heathwood and stuff, I came back and I mean, when we smoked Georgia, man, that stuff
nothing better.
Fun. That was fun to see, fun to be a part of. And all the years that we did. I mean, I remember believe me, I didn't move from my seat from the pouring rain when we stopped Gurley. We stuffed him on 4th and 1, man. Golly, man. I don't talk a bunch of trash, but boy, I was talking trash after that game. Golly, I was letting Georgia fans have it going down the walkway. God, man. But I think it's exciting times, man. I think people have to think that way in an optimistic standpoint, because I'm telling you, you can't tell me some of the stuff that you've seen. And again, to me, I think it's just even body language, man. I mean, it's hard. Football's hard. College football's hard. And to see, you got to fight, grind every little bit of thing. Everything matters. And I think that's just when you talk about culture, mindset, every play, man. Every play. We stuff somebody, get excited about that shit. We make a damn big play, get excited about that shit. Hell, I saw Justice Cunningham. I saw him about a month ago. Literally went and saw my nephew play up at Mallard Creek, and I saw Justice walking by, and I was like, God, that looks like Justice. Texted him and stuff, but I mean, that young man there, man. I mean, I worked with him even after I left USC.
Cunningham, the dreads,
man. But that catch he caught against Vanderbilt, man. I don't know where I was. I could have been in my own living room. I could have been at a bar, but I remember him catching that, and I just popped up out of my seat and just like let out the biggest like Ric Flair, like woo, like jacked as hell, man. But that's, I mean, everybody that plays there has that affinity and wants to see people have that success, man. And I mean, I promise you, I mean, hell, even when I didn't even play baseball, but when the baseball team won a national championship, especially on that national stage, shit, my ass cried too. I mean, that shit's awesome. I mean, it only happens. So, I mean, there's only certain opportunities you're going to get, take advantage of things like that. So, I mean, to me, I think it's, obviously this time of year too, it's all expectations. Everything's going to be a build up to the season. Yeah, man. And so it's just, I think it's just, again, seeing the things that are coming out of there, seeing, coaches mic'd up and all that stuff that they're posting. But I mean, it's at least giving you a personality of just seeing where these guys come from. And believe me, every single one of them are like, I'm mic'd up today. Like,
mics are hot.
Exactly.
Mics are hot.
That's right. But I mean, it's big time college football, man.